Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at these. These are the Ranger smart glasses from a company called Bleequp. Now, they're a little bit different from some other products that we featured on the channel, and that's because they are meant to be camera glasses. Now, you can see the camera right in the middle. These are designed to be sport glasses that are an action cam on your face. Now, they do have microphones, speakers, things like that, the typical smart glasses pieces, but there's a couple things that really excite me about these glasses, and that's because they do record in landscape mode and they can record for as long as you want them to. So that's really awesome, really exciting, something I've been looking for in smart glasses. So if you want to hear some more about these, definitely stick around. I'm going to roll that intro. We'll jump into the website, do an unboxing, and check these things out. All right, my name is Connor. This is where the informal tech reviews live. Okay, so moving into the website, you can see that these are the glasses right here, and they actually start at $359, and you can actually save another 20 bucks if you use code INFORMALTECH on the website. But basically, the Bleequp Ranger are AI sports camera glasses. They have some really cool features in here, and they do offer different lenses if you wanted to swap those out and upgrade. And if I go back one page, you can actually see they have a $399 version, and that features like the Vice lenses. But the one that I have is the standard lens, and they do also have a battery pack. But in my testing, I actually tried out my neck battery that I use with my Rainio X3 Pros combined with a female to female USB-C adapter, and it looks to be powering the glasses. I'm going to do a test and see how long I can get out of it, but both of those would be good options if you wanted to extend it. Now, if we scroll down just a little bit, you can see they are IP54 splash resistant. They do have a pretty good battery. In my testing, I was able to get like an hour-long video from full battery, start recording an hour long, no plugging in at all. And that's one of the most exciting things about these glasses. You can just record as you need, and when you push the button on the top, it'll mark in your video something that you were excited about. So that's definitely an awesome feature. Now, you can do AI editing to create clips and stuff, and the weight right here is actually really important. They're only 49 grams. And so they don't have that pressure on the ears like I've had in some other glasses, and you can actually get a prescription insert that plops right into them. Now, I took this over to my optometrist, and they put lenses in it for like 34 bucks out over at iMart Express. So definitely something to keep in mind if you wear prescriptions. Now, we can scroll down in here, and there's some video samples right here, and you can see it has 120-degree eye level field of view, and they do have electronic image stabilization. Now, in this video, you can see with the anti-shake cycle tech on, it does move pretty smoothly, and you can record in either portrait or landscape and switch it. Now, that's another thing that I really love about them. There's not a lot of smart glasses that currently support landscape recording. You can crop into your portrait, but that's not the same as recording in landscape. Now, there are 5 microphones, and what's really cool about the microphones is they actually have a built-in walkie-talkie system that you can use to communicate with other people who have the glasses or the application. And in my testing, the audio coming from me, even in high wind scenarios, was actually really good. As far as specifications go, it's 37 grams without the lens put in, but that 40 something was what matters with the lens in, because you're not going to pop the lens out and rock them like that. The video is 1080p at 30 FPS, and they do have that image stabilization. The photo ratio / resolution is this 4656 by 3496, and that's why they're able to do either landscape 1920 by 1080 or portrait 1080 by 1920. It does have a 16 megapixel camera, and when you're looking at the battery, the glasses themselves only have a 260 milliamp hour battery, but you can pick up that power pack at 1600 milliamp hours. Now, I think you could probably use basically any battery pack, but this one is specifically designed for the glasses, so I would probably recommend that. But in my testing, most of them do work. The 1 hour quick charge I have tested, that's pretty awesome. But what's really cool, what blows me away the most, is that this 260 milliamp hour battery really lasts for an hour long of recording, which I was pleasantly surprised by. You can do 4 hours more added to the 1 hour, so 5 hours total if you have this Power Plus battery bank, and the audio continuous is 8 hours plus 40 hours more if you have the battery bank. So technically, if you're using just audio, you can get up to 8 hours of battery life on just the battery. The speakers, they are existent. I would say they're plenty loud, but what I would mention and caution you with is if you're planning to use these for like consumption of content and like music and stuff, they seem to be tailored towards obviously using them in a sporty environment. So if you're out in wind and things like that, you're not actually going to get like the bassiest bass and things like that, but it is very clear and audible. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're looking for like really high quality audio for music, these may not be the glasses for you, but they are definitely audible and usable. And I think there was a couple equalizer modes, if I remember correctly. I'll have to double check when we get to the application section. You obviously get your UV protection from the lenses, and the lens themselves weigh 12 grams. The internal storage, there's 32 gigabytes of storage, so you can record 4.5 to 5.5 hours of video storage. And it does have a Qualcomm processor. I'm not sure exactly which one, but it does have its own 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi for transferring images and videos off of the glasses to your phone. And here's some of the sizes and stuff, but we'll go over what's in the box in just a second. I don't want to spend too much time on the website, so let's move over to the unboxing, and then we'll get to testing the glasses and we'll talk about them. Okay, moving into the unboxing, they are plastic sealed, which is nice. So you pop that open, and then you're greeted with the box, which actually has like a nice sheen to it, which I appreciate. And then once you pop it open, it actually kind of like origami folds out, which I think is a nice touch. And from there you have the case, which contains the glasses, but we'll come back to that. Let's take a look at what's inside here. Got your USB cable, which is magnetic, connecting to the outside. Now I do wish that was not proprietary, like a USB port, but it might be for that water resistance rating, make it a little simpler. And these are your prescription inserts. Then of course you have your usual books and stuff. This is the quick start guide. Go ahead and pause that, read it for yourself if you want. Otherwise, you know what we're gonna do. Next, you get a surprise microfiber cloth. This is for the people who read the books. If you didn't open that book, you'd never know. And then it actually feels like pretty good quality. Definitely keep that. So let's go ahead and pop open the box, find the glasses in here. There is a hard case and a soft case, which I think is a nice touch. The glasses have a protector on them as well. You do have to open up the arm to get it off. And then there's also protection on the arms as well as the camera. So it's a little bit overprotected, I would say, because it's already in the soft case and in the hard case, but rather be over than under. There is a little notch in here for the prescription inserts, so make sure you put them in there. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the application. Now, when you first get into it, you'll have to pair your glasses, but basically if you wanted to start an activity, you basically just click Start AI Tracking. You say go cycling. You can search for a destination, or you can just free travel, and you can actually enter the intercom channels. Then now I'm on my intercom channel, and if anybody around me was to join into my intercom channel, we'd be able to communicate. Now I can start it up, and if I was to record a video by tapping and holding, you can see I started the recording, and it's auto pausing because I'm not actually moving, I believe. But if I was moving around, you know, then it would go. You can control your sound of hearing other people and whether or not you're talking within the application for the intercom channel. And you can end your session by long pressing here. Now, if you wanted to see your stats, you can see those as well. Maybe we'll try to get out onto the bike to see that. But yeah, the movement distance is too short, so we'll go ahead and abandon it and make sure to stop my recording. One thing I really like about the recording is if you tap and hold it to start the recording, and then I tap it again, short press, boop, that marks the video for like an event or something. So when I go back to look at it, I can actually see that marking. And you'll be able to see that here in just a second. And so this is the album. And so you can see in here, this is my 1 hour long video, but you can see right here on the bottom, this is where I push the button. And so in here, I must have been indicating that something was going on. So if I wanted to come in here and see it, I can do that. I didn't have the app tracking on for this one, so I can't do the overlay, but I'll definitely include a sample where I am. Connect to the Wi-Fi of the device, right? And for my phone, it doesn't automatically join. I have to go do it in settings, but that may be just like a Google Pixel issue. And so I have to manually connect to my Bleequp Ranger. Okay, it's connected. Now you'll probably want to say, stay connected to it when you're in this, but you can see these are the ones that I just recorded. And this was actually a test to see how the camera works with the glasses on. And so I just took a quick like random bathroom picture, and you can see that up here, my hat brim is not blocking the image. Granted, it is tilted up a little bit, I guess. So if you had it down a little bit more, it might do that. But yeah, you would just, if you wanted to download something from here, you can just click the little download button. It'll add it to the download list. And this is the manual mark that I was talking about. So if you wanted to find the exact snippets, you can see these are all the videos that have manual marks inside of them. Under settings, there's a few different things that you can do. You can change the video settings. And so you can pick between landscape and portrait. You can also choose your resolution, but right now there's only one. The activity view selection is a little bit different. So other sports versus cycling, and the cycling tries to look a little bit higher because you're typically looking down a little bit more. So it tries to adjust your video a little bit, which I think is a cool feature. And then every now and then, when you're recording for like long periods, you can hear that the voice prompt will say recording, and you can change the amount of time that you want that to happen, or just turn it off completely. But if you do turn it off, you might forget that you're recording and like go do something that you don't want recorded. So definitely something to keep in mind. You can also adjust your bit rate. So more detail is going to be bigger sizes, and obviously space savings is going to have smaller sizes. And then the wind noise reduction beta, you can control how strong you want that wind noise reduction. Even on the setting that it comes with, so mild reduction, it did feel like it did a good job. So I'd be interested to test strong. I imagine you'd want to be in like a really hardcore wind environment to even use that. But yeah, those are the video settings. Shooting duration, you can choose how long you want it to be able to shoot. Unlimited is where I keep it, but if you wanted to only record for 30 minutes, 1 minute, 5 minutes, those options are available for you. There are AI sports highlights. If you have the AI tracking set up and you have some sensors connected, it'll be able to do some of that for you. On or off, I don't know what that button, what this toggle actually controls, because if I turn that off, right, and then I go to make a video, the light still comes on up here. So maybe that's like your notification light on the inside, which is good that this stays on for privacy, for people who are around you to know if you're recording or not. And then there are the sound settings. So balance, bass, sport, wind, noise reduction, and voice enhancement. Bass mode is probably where I would recommend keeping it if you're listening to music. It doesn't give it a ton of bass, like I mentioned before, but the audio is super clear. Now they do have a Bluetooth controller that you can like mount to your bike handlebars and control like recording and things like that. You would be able to see those here if you had one connected. And then there's also some sensors, right? So if you had a heart rate monitor or a cadence sensor, a cycling computer, and it'll even do some smartwatches if you wanted to. This is in development right now, and so is the cycling computer, but you can see there's a bunch of different things in here, and it's cool to know that they're still working on it, so that's good. And there's some different settings that you can have for your data if you wanted to broadcast things. So if your average speed is exceeding this, it'll tell you. Now you can change your measurement settings, so I'll probably throw it over to the Imperial settings right now. So some really good settings if you're definitely like more into the sports side of it. Now I probably will use it for things like that, but I think for me personally, I'm mostly excited about just video recording when I'm outside, whether that's just hanging out or walking around, playing with the kids. And honestly, I think that's it for the application. So let's jump into something else. Okay, really quick before I move too much further, I recently tried to take off the lens and about had a heart attack because I thought I broke it, but let me just show you. If you do go to take it off, inside there's like a little slider that moves left to right. And so the way to do it properly is to move it to the left and then pull down. While you have that pushed, you're going to have to get fingerprints on it. Might be worth taking out the sides first. Got to bend it just a little bit, pop them out, push the slider over, and then pull down while you wiggle it a little bit. There we go. Okay. And so push the slider over and pull down. And what I've realized is if you have your prescription insert in, you can use these kind of like normal glasses. Now you look crazy, see? But it is doable. They don't even push on my nose because the side pieces hold it tight enough. But yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend that because it looks crazy, but it is doable, and that's how you swap out the lens. All right, just got out to the disc golf course. You can see, can't really see the prescription lenses too good if you're farther away, but when you get a little bit closer, there, you can see it right there. It does look a little bit weird, but it's about functionality, right? So let's keep playing. You can see the light. I'm still recording, doing my test. Sounded like a disc just landed behind me, so that's cool. Okay, so next we're going to take a look at some sample footage that I took. This is from my 1 hour long recording that I did, and I wanted to let you guys know that it was 7 gigabytes in size, so that's something to keep in mind. Definitely not small, but at 1080p, it could definitely be bigger. If this was 4K, that would be gigantic. So yeah, let's take a look. 10:01, and I'm going to go throw some discs at the disc golf course and see how long we can get this battery to last. I did just get my prescription inserts installed. Shout out to iMart Express. They were like 35 bucks for like the plastic inserts, and it literally took like 30 minutes. So definitely a good way if you have an iMart Express near you to get inserts. I think they're probably a little more expensive straight from the Bleequp website, but I really like having the ability to get them through there too. You just enter in your prescription information and you're good to go. Okay, so I muted it for just a second. Now, what I would note is that the quality, it does look pretty good. The highlights are a little blown out, and I would say that's probably like lack of HDR, right? And I'm inside my dark vehicle looking out into the bright light. But once I get out into like the actual disc golf area, you can see that it does adapt pretty well. It definitely captures the environment well. And the audio coming in from the 5 microphones is very good. And so I was just out playing some disc golf, and you can see as I jump around, the image stays consistent. Now, it's not the highest quality, but I think for catching these action moments, it's definitely sufficient, right? And you can see the EIS is fighting me just a little bit. It's probably not tailored for this type of sport, mainly for like cycling, walking, running type thing. But you can see once I get walking over here, it does feel very smooth. And I was periodically checking the battery. So if you want to check on the battery, you can look into the application on the connection and it'll tell you what the battery is. There may be a better way to check that, but that's the way that I found. And yeah, you can see I've been recording at this point for 53 minutes. The glasses basically they did outlast my disc golf game. I played, okay, I do go back to this one because I skipped one because there was a bunch of people. But I ended up playing the entire 18 holes of disc golf here, and the glasses were ready to keep going just a little bit. And so you can see I do drive around a little bit to make sure that I'm fully draining the battery. And when the battery did die, or it got very low, it stopped the recording. That way it was able to save the recording without losing it. It didn't like die in the middle of the recording. So that's very good. All right, so it's 11:05. The recording just stopped on the glasses. It does still report 5% battery. So I'm not sure if it stopped because it hit 1 hour of recording, or if it stopped because it was like, I need to stop this recording so I can save it before I die. But that was a long recording. I'll have to do another test another time using like my neck battery to see if it can extend that recording time. But things with this piece, it was to stop and make sure that it could save. So I did confirm that, and it would continue recording. I think with the battery pack that Bleequp has on their website, they say it can go up to 5 hours, I believe, of continuous recording. Okay, now this sample is a video recording to test the wind noise. I'm in my car, so, obviously it's going to probably be a little bit faster than you would be if you were running or something. But you never know. You get some gusts. So let's just listen to it and check out how it sounds to like reduce that noise for the wind. Sample got quite a bit of wind. Also the fan in the truck. I'm actually headed to iMart Express to see if they can make some prescription inserts for it. Now you can see just a little bit right here. I'm going over 40 miles an hour before I roll up the window, and I could basically not hear any wind. And I distinctly remember when I recorded that snippet, it did feel very windy. And so I think you would actually be able to hear yourself pretty well if you were like cycling or running, and you wanted to capture that audio as well. Now this one is a snippet from the 1 hour recording where I was playing disc golf. And I just wanted to highlight that it does capture those like smaller sounds. So when I throw the disc on this one, I'm pretty far away and I almost make it into the pin, but I just bounce off the top of it. And so if you listen really closely, you can hear it just go ding off the top, which I thought was pretty impressive for, microphones on my face. So let's just hear it. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if that came through in the video, but you can hear it from me. So I guess we'll see. I might have to bump up the audio just a little bit. So right now it is very windy. I don't know if you can see the tree over here. Oh, that flag's probably a better indicator. But I'm trying the AI tracking, so it should give some information about what's going on. Somebody got the K-pop Demon Hunters McDonald's meal. Shout out. Okay, I'll do a quick jog for science. Hopefully that got something. We'll see. All right, that's the Bleequp Ranger. What do you think? Now, I'm actually really excited about these, and I definitely appreciate Bleequp for sending these out for me to review. I've been consistently looking for glasses that can record in landscape for as long as I want. My Neo X2s could do that back in the day, but those were huge, full Android glasses that sat on your face. And compared to the Metas or something, these recording in that landscape position really makes a huge difference. Now, I will say that the video quality is not quite as high as something like the Metas, and I think that's because these are recording at just 1080p, where I believe the Metas are recording at 3K, at least my Oakleys. So there's definitely a little bit lower quality in terms of just image quality, but I think the electronic image stabilization on these does do a good job at stabilizing it, and the fact that you can record in landscape or portrait really steps these up a level beyond. Now, I think each will have its use case, right? So these ones I definitely think are going to be used for those like long adventures, because when you're doing something outdoors, like especially for like an action cam, right, you don't want to have to like push the button on your glasses when you're going to catch something. Now, I know like the Vanguards, for example, can connect to some Garmin items and be able to actually do some auto recording when you're doing your activities based off of your heart rate. Now, that is an awesome feature, but I personally don't own any Garmin watches or anything like that. So definitely there is some competition in this space, but I'm glad to see that there are more brands coming out with glasses like this. They do look good. I think they are a little bit cheaper than something like the Vanguards. So this is definitely a contender. Definitely, if you guys are in the market for something like this and you want to pick it up, use code INFORMALTECH to support the channel and save, I think it's $20 off your purchase. Definitely appreciate you guys for doing that, and hit the links in the comment section in the description. It really does support the channel and enable us to be able to make awesome videos like this. We do have a giveaway going up on the channel right now. I think it ends on April 10th for a set of Rainio glasses. If you want to enter that, definitely head over there, hit subscribe, watch the video, follow the rules. And again, my name is Connor. This is where the Informal Tech Reviews live. We definitely appreciate you guys for sticking around. We'll see you next time. Peace.